Hello everybody, this is Mark at M7 Speed here in Mooresville, North Carolina. Today we're going to show you how to install a splitter on a Mini Cooper. Now we're going to use an R53 standard bumper car today. This is the splitter for that car, but this is typical of all our splitters. They're cut to shape to fit the bumper, they're knots pre-drilled, ready to go. These are available for every mini bumper out there, Aero, JCW, standard, LCI, whatever you got. Available in carbon fiber or in the indestructible Tegris material. Now with each splitter you get a hardware kit. It includes the 2 strut rods, all the fasteners you need to attach it to the bumper, 2 special inserts that hold the strut rods to the front of the bumper, along with a special installation tool for those inserts. Now other splitters, the kits vary a little bit, but basically these are the same parts. As a proven system. You do not have to remove the bumper cover to install the splitter. It can be done while the bumper cover is on the car, which is unique to anybody else in the industry. We have engineered this kit and had a great success. As far as tools, very simple. You need a drill of some kind, a couple standard drill bits which are called out, a Phillips screwdriver, a couple small wrenches, an 1/8 inch T-handle, some masking tape, the ever famous Sharpie, and a tape measure of some kind. With each splitter there's an installation instructions available, and it goes step by step on how to install this. It calls out what holes are to drill, what size, what screws, the torque of the screws, how to position everything. So it's real easy. We've proven it on every car, and it's a winner. So right now we're going to show you how to put this on Ken's R53. Alright, now we're ready to install our splitter. So the first thing we want to do is get the car up in the air. Fortunately we have a lift here in our shop, but you can do this on jack stands or car ramps. As long as you have enough room to get your drill between the ground and here to do a little bit of drilling and removing some screws. So the first thing we want to check is make sure your lower lip is smooth, there's no jagged edges, you didn't hit any curves and punch holes in. If there is, trim them off so this is fairly flush. Now on an R53, there's 6 screws here that we have to remove, and I'm going to use an electric driver here to take them out just to speed things up. And they're right along the front, the very front screws. We'll take these out because the splitter will actually mount up through these holes. And you get longer screws are included in the installation kit so that everything goes together just as designed to. So that's fairly straightforward. So we took out our 2/4, there's actually 7 screws on an R53. Okay, so what we're going to do now, I grabbed 3 of the long truss head screws that are supplied in the hardware kit, and we're going to temporarily mount the splitter up to the lower lip and use it as our drill template as we drill 4 additional holes we need to securely mount this to the car. So we're just going to put these longer screws in the stock holes up through the middle hole. Now I like to use a manual, a hand screwdriver here. If you use an electric, you have a chance of stripping and breaking the plastic, and we don't want to do that. So there's one. Now these holes are all pre-drilled for you here, and they'll line up right to your factory holes. And we'll get the third one over here just to keep everything level and square. Put that there. Okay, now we have the splitter temporarily mounted up to the lower lip, and we're going to use it as a guide to drill 4 additional holes. So we use a 1/4 inch drill bit, just a handheld electric drill, using these 4 additional holes as a guide. Just drill up through the lower lip, and just as it goes through, stop. You don't want to plunge all the way through because you might damage something. So that's 2. 3, Now in our other models, especially for R56 cars, there'll be up to 13 additional holes you'll drill like this. Luckily the R56 standard bumper is easiest to install, and that's what we're doing today. So the next step is we want to take the splitter off. Okay, now we've removed the splitter to expose the 4 new holes that we drilled into the lower lip here. So now I'm going to, with a 3/8 inch drill bit, I'm going to drill these holes. Just to enlarge them. Again, don't try to drive them all the way through, just break through. Nice and easy. It's plastic you're working with here. Doesn't take a lot of force, as you can see. Just real easy. Clean those out. Don't make them any larger than the drill, or the clips won't hold as well as they can. So after that, we're going to grab 4 of our clips here that are included in the kit. They're these plastic automotive clips. They will simply press into these holes. Now it's a little bit snug, so you got to push hard, and push them up, and they'll snap in and be flush with the lip, just like that. So we'll do that in those 4 holes there. So this gives you 4 additional attachment points for the splitter to mount to. Alright, that's pretty straightforward. The next step here is just to mount the splitter permanently up to the bumper. So what we want to do is remove the protective peel ply on the splitter so that we, because you won't be able to get it off once it's installed. So that's what we're going to do next, is bolt that splitter up on there. Okay, now that we've got all our clips installed, we got our splitter. We took the protective sheet off. We gave it a light coat of wax, keep it nice and shiny. And now we're going to install up here on our bumper. We use these long 1-inch number 12 truss head screws and a Phillips screwdriver to hold up here. Now this is where a friend comes in handy. So we have Ted here. Ted's going to help us hold this in position while I get it mounted here. So first thing to do, Ted's going to hold it right there. And if I can get coordinated, we're going to get, these are the new clips we put in. You don't want to over tighten it. Remember, you're working with plastic here. So we'll get the second one here. Goes right in. I don't recommend using a screwdriver, electric screwdriver or screw gun here, because they'll strip all this plastic out, and then the splitter won't stay attached as it's designed, and we don't want that coming off at high speed. So you can see these inserts work really well. Screws go right in nice and snug and pulled up tight, and that's it. So we'll just finish running all these screws in. So we have the 7 in the original holes and the 4 new ones. We'll hold the splitter up here. Okay, now we got the splitter installed in our 11 locations. All the stock holes and our 4 new additional holes, all the screws are in. Now one thing to remember on an R53, there's a double panel here. You have your lip, your bumper lip, and then on top of that, there's the lower spoiler and underbelly pan. So you want these screws to catch all 3 parts: the splitter, the lip, and the spoiler lip here also. So once all that's in, we're good. The next step is we're going to install our strut rod. So we're going to lower the car down a little bit. Okay, here we go. We got a splitter installed. It's all bolted on. The last thing to do is we're going to install our strut rods. So there's 2 of these, 1 on each side. The installation instructions will show you approximate location. A lot of guys like big, steep angles. Other people like them straight. It's really up to you, as long as you're within the range of the strut rod. It's adjustable with right and left-hand threads, so you can lengthen it or shorten it how you wish. We suggest, about halfway in the adjustment range. And the splitter's pre-drilled for the bottom end, and then the top piece. We're going to, on Ken's car here, we're going to install it right about that location. So the first thing to do is to get a piece of masking tape. We don't want to work right on the paint just in case something doesn't work out right. So we put a little masking tape in the approximate location that you want it. So approximately there. With our trusty Sharpie and tape measure, we're going to measure up 5 inches from the top of the splitter and put a mark. And then we're going to measure 1 inch over from the edge of the grill opening so that we get this symmetric. So there's 1 inch there. And 5 inches here. So here's our mark. That's where we're going to drill. So we have to drill a 1/4 inch hole here to put a threaded insert which our splitter rod will attach to. Now it's only a small 1/4 inch hole. If you ever want to take this off or remove it, you will have a hole there. But if you remove that insert carefully, you can put a small little plastic plug in there or metal plug in it. It'll be hardly noticeable. So what we're going to do is get a 1/4 inch drill over here. And right in that location, before we drill, we're going to make sure that everything looks right. And look at that, it's about spot on. So we got a little adjustment to do when it's in, but that's it. So right there, very carefully, we're going to slowly drill right through, and that's it. That's all you need to do. Okay, now this is really the most critical part of installing this. Once you have the hole drilled where you want it, which isn't that critical, but get in the right spot, you have these 2 metal inserts. These are threaded inserts. And this little special tool that comes in a little bag in your hardware kit. So this tool and this insert are going to go together. You screw the insert onto the tool, making sure that the little counterboard shoulder is in towards the this pre-balled insert, we call it. You kind of snug that up. Now this is a tight fit too. You push this in here and you push until it snaps in like that. 9/16 wrench. The Allen wrench is provided with the tool, and you turn this clockwise, and it's a bit of a snug, but you'll feel it's a constant torque. And when it starts to tighten up, about 4 to 5 revolutions here, you'll feel it. It'll start to really get tight, and we're just about there. It's starting to get tight. You don't want to over tighten it, but you want it pretty snug, about like that. And you just back this off, thread this out. Take that cap off, and there you go. You have a threaded insert into your bumper right there. And that's where the strut rod will bolt to. So once we get this on both sides, we'll show you how to do that. Okay, now we got our threaded insert installed in the bumper. And we're going to install our strut rod. So what we've done is we've removed the small screws that hold the U-clips onto the end of the rod so that we can access the button, the socket head cap screw there. So what we're going to do with it, just spin these in here. Forgot one thing. I want to make sure you use a stainless steel washer, which is supplied with the kit there. And just finishes it off real nice. So you tighten this up, kind of snug, and you want it about that angle, pointing down towards this hole. The other end, you do the same thing. You have the U-bracket, the bolt, a washer on top, through the pre-drill hole in the splitter. On the bottom you use the flat washer and the nylon lock nut that's supplied in your kit also. So we'll put this on the bottom here. Get this started. It wants to cooperate. Okay, using a 3/8 inch, this nut here is 3/8 inch, so we'll just snug this up too to get the slop out of it. Now we take our rod and we kind of get these lined up correctly so that the rod's floating in there. Everything lined up. You can get them, you got to play it a little bit, get it pointed in the right direction. And once you do, put a bolt in one of these holes. And you can lengthen and shorten this rod as you need be so these holes line up correctly. And also it's a good time to get this pointed in the right direction. So you can see everything's free there. And then we put our bolt through the second hole here. Now once that's done, take this out and tighten these U-brackets up, but don't lose their orientation. Hold them in position so that you can install your rod once these are all tight and everything's lined up correctly. Alright, well here we go. We got our splitter fully installed. The car's down on the ground. We got our strut rods installed. And now the last thing to do is just tighten these up so that there's tension on them and flatten out your splitter somewhat. Run these jam nuts down tight. Now it's a right and a left hand thread, so they both spin in the same direction. And then just tighten these nuts up. Now this is not big hardware, so you got to be careful you don't over tighten anything. But just tighten them. Both sides, and then what we want to make sure is we safety check everything, make sure everything's tight before we drive the car. So check your through bolts, your jam nuts, and we suggest even a little Loctite on here once you get it set where you want. So that's it. That's how you install a splitter on a Mini Cooper. Have a great day, and visit us at www.m7tuning.com. Thanks.